And the WHL. All right, let's do this. It's a live in-studio format this week since we got the U.S. Thanksgiving is tomorrow. And we've got two Wild games taking place. Actually, is it two games? A game tonight on Friendsgiving, the night before Thanksgiving here in the U.S. Wild are taking on the Seattle Thunderbirds in Kent. And
yes, sir.
You're going.
Absolutely.
Jared, I call you Superfan Jared. If you go to a WHL home game and you see somebody with a Wenatchee Wild jersey, chances are it's our friend Jared. You go to a lot of games on the road.
I try. I mean, with the jam-packed schedule that I have, I try to go as many as I can. So
that's amazing. All right. So the Wild are taking on Seattle tonight in Kent at the ShoAir Arena. Headlines, CHL, they announced that our friends in Kelowna will be hosting the 2026 Memorial Cup.
Oh, I mean, especially that they were supposed to have it back in 2020, COVID year, of course, so they got it canceled. Good for the city of Kelowna, and I've been there a few times, and it's beautiful down there.
Prosper Place?
Prosper Place.
What do you think about that barn?
You know, I mean, it's a hockey town. Like, when you first go in there over the bridge, see the skyline, see the view, it's a hockey town, and it's in a really good spot. But from a fan standpoint, you see it as, it's a little bit of an older barn compared to, like, you know, the U.S. ones in Spokane and whatnot.
Austin Droughty was just in earlier today. He said that if they get it, and they just was announced that they got it, they're going to upgrade the whole press, the upper deck press area.
Okay, yeah, okay, that makes sense. Obviously, to have that, you know, to get the bid, get the honor to host it in 2026, you know, you have to, you know, be ready for those changes. And for us in the U.S., it's not that far of a drive to go to Kelowna. I mean, from Wenatchee, it's 4.5 hours. So, you know, I'm going to try to be there.
CHL prospects with a lot of Western Hockey League players beat the U.S. UA Teams last night. Game 1 of the Prospect Challenge, 6-1. Lyndon Lakovic got the first goal, and then there was Cameron Schmidt with the second goal. He looks so good.
Oh, Schmidt. Oh, my. What a clinic he's been putting on this year. And an honor to see him in Wenatchee. He's been spectacular. I won't be surprised if he goes top 10 this year.
I always find it weird when I see draft boards that place Cameron Schmidt in the second or third round. That's nuts. I think he can go top 10.
I agree. If he keeps playing the way he's playing, there's no doubts in my mind that he'll go top 10.
So we're not quite to the halfway point of the Western Hockey League season. Would you say that the Christmas break is about the halfway point?
I would say so.
And how it feels?
I would say so.
But we're getting close, and we have a sheet in front of us that is listing the top teams in the West and the East. Everett is at number 1. What do you think about the Everett Silvertips this year? They've been on fire.
Oh, man. Where do you begin? Like, you have McKenzie. You got Tyler McKenzie. You got, you know, Miettinen. You got Raymond. You got Carter Bear. He's going to be another high overall draft pick this year, racking up a lot of points.
Who, by the way, didn't play in Game 1 of the challenge because of the CHL USA Prospects Challenge, because I guess he was not feeling good. He was sick yesterday. He might play tonight, hopefully.
I hope so.
Landon DuPont. Did you mention him?
Of course.
Yeah. The 15-year-old rookie, who, by the way, he goes to the U17 challenge that we recently had, the World Challenge. I think he was the captain of Canada Red, and the captain, he's 15. And the players, these 16, 17-year-old kids, love and respect Landon DuPont.
Oh, without a doubt. This guy, he can be offensive and defensive. Like, where you need him the most, he'll get the job done for you. And it's shown so far this year in the WHL against any team. It's
fun to see him lead those Everett Silvertip forwards. He knows he knows where to place the puck, almost like a quarterback.
DuPont high slot. He waits and feeds the one-timer. Score!
Absolutely. Yeah, it's his puck vision's dynamic. It's one of a kind.
Good stuff. Tri-Cities, they're second out west, but they've got the best form in the past 15 games.
Here, a turnover. Gavin scores! Wow, what a dogged forecheck by Jordan Gavin as he forces a turnover and lifts a shot over the glove of Jackson Unger. 2 goals just seconds apart for Tri-City.
They've been on fire.
To say the least, yeah. I mean, not really a hot take here, but they've probably been the best team in the WHL in the past 10, 15 games.
Without a doubt. They just got Salvin Verk from the Chilliwack Chiefs. We'll mention a few of the BCHL and USHL players that made their way into the dub recently.
Yeah, you got Jordan Gavin, you got Brandon Wynot, you got what worried me with Tri-Cities coming in this year that they traded away Dragicevic. Dragicevic has probably been one of their better defensemen in the years that I've seen, but the numbers don't lie. They're still playing really good.
And they got Jackson Smith.
Jackson Smith
who's
too.
Probably going to be like a top 10, possibly top 10 draft pick.
He might be. He'll be in the first round pick for sure.
I'm always impressed with Prince George. Mark Lamb has them dialed in, year out. They really don't ever go into win now mode because they take care of their draft picks year in, year out.
Oh, my boy's on that team, so we'll go in Zimmer. He's an LA King draft pick, so I always like to see him play good for that reason. So
yep, yeah, they're third in points overall, and they're third in form past 15 games. Spokane Chiefs out of the gate, they were like 1-2 with Everett, and they've fallen off just a touch, but they're still just loaded.
Well, here's the crazy thing: the teams that we just mentioned, you had Everett already do the Saskatchewan swing. Tri-Cities also do the Saskatchewan swing, and also Spokane already did it too.
Right.
So they got that out of the way before the snowfall. Yeah, well, which will come to a few teams that will play later in this talk. But yes, Spokane, I'm not worried about them. You know, they've had a few guys go off to the prospects and then NHL training camp, but I think they'll be, a solid. I think they'll be a 3-4 seed in the playoff start.
Past 15 games, Spokane is 6th in the West in terms of form. Victoria Royals, they're 5th overall in the West. They got Braden Boehm from they came in from Medicine Hat. He's a 20-year-old kid. That makes sense for them. Braden Boehm, his family lives in Nanaimo, just up the island. You've been there, right?
Of course.
In the BCHL days.
Yep.
And he's glad to be home, just 90 minutes away from his mom and dad up in Nanaimo. Hot teams out east. The Saskatoon Blades are at number 1. Are you surprised Saskatoon, which almost won the East last year? That was an amazing 7-game series with Moose Jaw. That was a crazy good series.
Oh man.
But Saskatoon, the B side of the East so far.
I'm not surprised. They didn't really lose a lot, and they're basically the same team, more or less. They are really complete. Their goaltender is great. It's just the problem is the consistency with this team. I don't know if I think they'll still be a top 3 team in the East, but I think there's some teams that we'll mention later on I think can overtake the number 1 spot.
Do you think Swift Current can do it?
Oh, 100%. I 100%. Yeah, Swift Current. They made some moves.
It up ahead, intended for Lakovic, stolen by Gould. They center Misselbacher, backdoor to Zane, scores.
They've gotten some good players, especially in the offseason. So, you got Brady Burney from they got him from Medicine Hat, I believe, in the offseason back in August. And then you got Luke Misselbacher. He and Clark Caswell both have 33. Misselbacher has 38 points. Caswell has 33. When you have multiple guys especially, have over 30 points in the matter of 23 games, you're doing pretty well. And as Swift Current, they're still a pretty young team too. And I think I could just see them getting better and better throughout the year.
Swift Current Broncos are the hottest team in the past 15 games. They've got the best form out east. Medicine Hat at number 3. Gavin McKenna, what can you say about him, man? 48 points in 25 games.
Impeccable.
Fires, blocked. Weisblatt shoots, blocked. Weisblatt hustling for it, can't get to it. Penalty expires, Tigers still with it. Richie left circle, fires, hits his own man McKenna. He sends one in, they score! McKenna off the back of Hildebrand and in.
Right. Man, this guy is an absolute stud for Medicine Hat. And man, they got Ryder Richie as well back in August as well, and they're clicking. They're a pretty solid team, and they'll be a top 5 in the East. They're at 3 right now, right? I think they'll stay at the 3. Hot take. I think they'll stay at the 3.
I think there's a team a couple of notches below that might catch them. We'll get to that in a second. The Lethbridge Hurricanes. They're the 4 squad. They've had kind of a bump in the road, kind of like Spokane. They've kind of gone down a bumpy path in the past 15 games. They have the 8th team out east with the past 15. Braden Edwards has 30 points in their past 19 games. Logan Warmald, 29 points in the past 22 games. Marcus Marquise, which you were raving about off air before we jumped on this. 29 points in 20 games. Lethbridge, I think they could pick it back up. The Brandon Wheat Kings at the 5 slot. Roger McQueen was on fire out of the gate, but then, of course, when Roger McQueen got hurt, they've fell down a notch or two.
Oh, well, yeah, but if you're Brandon, like, obviously, he's a big name guy, but you got to work around, injuries to still have a sustainable team. Like, being at the 5 right now, right now without him, I think is the respectful spot. But once McQueen does get back, and then they got Carson Bjarnason, hot goaltender for Brandon. So, again, like, I think they'll be a top 5 in the East as well.
Face-off coming up to the right of Ratzlaff. And the Wild steal it back, fed out front. Maddox fires it in and scores! It can happen that quickly. 5 seconds into the Dix Heating and Air Conditioning power play, and it ends with an Easton Maddox marker mashing one to the net.
Jarod Fillion. All right, it's all good. Hey, thanks for taking time to break down the Western Hockey League as we get almost to the halfway point of the season. It's great. Obviously, you got to get in your car now and drive, make a beeline for the Showair Arena in Kent.
Yeah, that should be a fun game. We'll see how it goes, and hopefully my Wild Boys pull it together and get the W.
All right, I'll listen to that game on News Radio 560 KPQ here locally with Austin Drowdy. This has been another episode of Eye on the WHL. If you enjoyed this video and podcast, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to our channel to see more WHL hockey content like this. When you hit the subscription button, we run around the house and we high-five each other.
Absolutely.
We really do.
We really do.
We got one this year, and actually this week, and we were running around high-fiving. So make that happen. Remember to hit the notification bell so you get all the updates when they happen. Please comment below and tell us what teams you'd like us to cover more in depth. We do cover the WHL Wild because they're just down the street from us here in Canada. Any thoughts, any questions, give us a comment. We'll get back to you. See you in the following video in the next podcast. Eye on the WHL, available on any podcast platform or right here on YouTube.